Hare Krishna. So till now, Krishna has described different progressive stages of devotional service. The first and the highest one that Krishna described was, fix your mind on me. Second, he said, if you cannot fix your mind on me all the time, okay, no problem. You practice the regulative principles of bhakti, that is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and so on, and try to fix your mind on me. Means practice to fix your mind on me. If you cannot do it spontaneously. Then he reduced that down to saying that, okay, you cannot fix your mind on me. You cannot practice to fix your mind on me. Okay, work for me. But then say, if someone says that, oh Krishna, I cannot do that also, due to any reason. So what should I do? And Krishna is answering this in Shloka number 11. So let's see that now. Athai apyasaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. So here Krishna is saying, Athaitad api asaktah asi kartum madhyogam ashritah. So here Krishna is saying, Ataha, even if, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness for me, madhyogam, then sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. Then at least try to give up all results of your work and try to be self-situated, that is yatatmavan. So here Krishna is saying, okay, if you're not able to do all this, whatever I have spoken before, then at least give up all the results of your activities. No problem. You don't want to give it to me, no problem. But then give up those activities, give up the results of those activities in such a way that you'll be able to progress on the path of bhakti. Now see, many times it happens that even to help the Krishna consciousness movement becomes difficult. Various reasons it might be. As Prabhupada is saying here, that the reasons might be social, familial, or religious considerations, or some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be some objections from some family members or so many other difficulties. So that person might say that, oh, this is very difficult. I've got so many obstacles. So here Krishna is saying, and Prabhupada elaborates very nicely, that one who has such a problem, if these obstacles are there, then it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. So basically, now Krishna is saying that if you cannot do these things which I have told, okay, at least do some philanthropic work. Do some social service. Do something. Don't use all that you get by doing certain activity, all the results. Don't use it for your sense gratification. Sacrifice it. Give it for something else. Something which will have a good effect on the entire society. Basically a good cause. And we see in Shastra, there are so many things which are mentioned. If someone wants to do some activities, some pious activities, so many things are mentioned. And even now it is seen in this age also, as Prabhupada here is mentioning, that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. Now see, one is that there might be obstacles from various different personalities around us, or various different social setup, political setup, or whatever. There's one, that I'm interested, but then I've got so many obstacles. But there is second category, that is, the person is not interested. He's not at all interested in Krishna consciousness. So both these categories can actually do this activity of giving up the results or sacrificing the results for some good cause. So it might be building some hospital, or maybe helping some orphanage, or old age homes, or whatever. So this can be done. So we see the social service activity Krishna is putting at the lowest level. So if we cannot do the devotional activities, if we cannot work for Krishna, then Krishna is saying, okay, you cannot do this. Okay, no problem. Do this at least. So by this, what happens? When someone gives up the results, what happens? Why is it so important? Why is Krishna stressing so much on this particular thing? So here it is said that by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. So currently, what is the contamination? The mind is attached to so many things that I have. That is what is the contamination. So now, when we give up, say the hard-earned money for doing some activities, or we give up, the time, we have such a tight schedule, and from that we take out some time and we do some activities. So basically, like this, when we sacrifice the results of our activities, so at that time, what happens is the mind becomes purified. Currently, the mind is contaminated. Mind is full of attachments. So when we start doing these things, at least the mind will get purified. And when the mind gets purified, what happens? There is some space that gets created in the mind for what? To understand Krishna consciousness. See, one fact is very clear, as it is said here, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience, because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. So it's not that only after doing social service activities, philanthropic activities, my mind will get purified and then I'll engage myself in devotional service. It's not like that. Krishna consciousness, bhakti yoga is so powerful that it can purify anything and everything that will be there in the mind. All the contamination can be purified. But this solution or this recommendation Krishna is giving for those people who have got a lot of impediments for practicing bhakti. A lot of obstacles are there for them to practice bhakti. Or those people are not interested to practice bhakti. For such people, this particular solution is given. So in this way, a person can do social service, community service, national service, or some sacrifice for one's own country. So all this, can be done. And guess what? Slowly and steadily, someday, some lifetime, the person will be able to come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So it is very, very important that all of us make a note of this, that this particular activity of social service, philanthropic work, or whatever it is, which Krishna is recommending here, is not for everyone in general. Yes, no one can do it. Even in ISKCON, distribution of prasadam is done. Midday meals to so many different schools, so many slums, and so many different places. The prasadam is distributed for free. So this is there. But then one thing we have to understand is life is very short. So we cannot wait for that day, one day in some lifetime, when we'll be able to come to the platform of pure devotional service. We should practice bhakti every single day intensely in such a way that we get purified as fast as possible. So every time we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every time we read Bhagavad-gita, every time we read Srimad Bhagavatam, every time when we hear discourses on Bhagavad-gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and do some direct service to Krishna in this mission of Krishna consciousness, we get purified at every step. And this purification is very quick because Krishna is personally involved. In the activities of social service, the philanthropic work, that is not spiritual, that is there on the material platform still, because Krishna is not involved there. But in Bhakti Yoga, there's a direct connection that gets established when a person practices Bhakti. Connection with whom? Connection with Krishna. Like when someone chants Hare Krishna, there's a direct connection that gets established with Krishna. When someone reads Bhagavad-gita, there's a direct connection that get established with Krishna because it's direct instruction of Krishna. So in this way, by the direct connection with Krishna, purification is faster. So we devotees should intensify our devotional service and help others also to become intense in devotional service by practicing devotional service very nicely. So in this way, Krishna, we can see how merciful the Lord is. He has lowered his level one after another after another. So he said, fix your mind upon me. And then he says, okay, you cannot do it, okay, no problem. Practice to fix your mind upon me. Oh, you cannot do that also, okay, no problem. Work for me. Oh, you cannot work for me? Okay, work for someone else. At least give your results to someone else, but don't enjoy it yourself because that will contaminate you more and you'll not be able to progress on this path of transcendence. After having said all these things, Krishna is going to make a very, very important point in this entire set of verses which are talking about the progressive stages of bhakti. So let's see that very, very important point in the next video. Hare Krishna.